Recently, if you're a part of Sierra Bible Church, you've heard us point out to you that the majority of what we know about the crucifixion actually came from the testimony of the women who were eyewitnesses. So you might be tempted to think as a result that the 12 had fled through various parts of Friday. And in most cases, you'd be right, with one exception. It's a scene that doesn't get discussed too often when we talk about Jesus' death day. If you've been in church long enough, I'm sure you've heard messages about Jesus' various statements. Father, forgive them. Today you'll be with me in paradise. My God, why have you forsaken me? It is finished. Each of these moments is worthy of its own message. But in 2 verses in the 4th gospel, an additional moment is described, and we learn that one of the 12 was actually there when Jesus died. Between gasps for air and waves of nausea and pain, Jesus looked down from the cross and saw his mother, the Blessed One who had been given the task of carrying the Messiah within her womb for 9 months and then lived through all the joy and the pain of watching his ministry over 33 years. I'm sure she ached in agony to watch her beloved son be tortured for public display. I'm sure Jesus could see her anger and her sadness and her hopelessness as it poured from her eyes. Then Jesus' eyes moved from his mother over to the witnessing disciple, to John, whom he loved. John, who might have only been a teenager at the time. John, who had so much potential, but he was almost as fiery as his older brother. Jesus turned his eyes back to his mother, and he told her, John is your son. He then looks intently at John, I imagine with even more penetrating eyes, and says, John, Mary is your mother. From that moment, John's heart immediately accepted that it was his new calling to care for the mother of Jesus. Now, if you've ever cared for an older family member, you know how much of a life change this can be. I'm John. At least I want to be. It can't be lost on us that at any moment, Jesus may reach into the intimate details of our lives and massively rearrange them. In the midst of the pain and the agony that he was witnessing, John was ready to let Jesus mess with every detail of his life. It's as though I can hear him say, Jesus, you've already turned my world upside down, rearranging me down to my very thoughts. I'll gladly take in your mother. We'll make it work. She'll be my family. In my better moments, I'm that person, but I definitely need to grow in that direction. I want to be one on whom Jesus can count for even the practical, life-disheveling details. I think it takes looking at the dying Jesus to find that kind of willingness.